Welcome back to the Purple Political Breakdown. How's it going? How's your day been? Today, I'm gonna do an interesting video. I want to allow you guys to kind of dive into my mindset a little bit, and I'm gonna be taking a political typology quiz to determine a little bit my political allegiances or where I fall on the spectrum. Feel free to take the quiz on your own to figure out where you fall. But this was a quiz made in 2021, so we'll see how everything goes. If you had to choose, would you rather have a smaller government providing fewer services, a bigger government providing more services? Smaller government versus a big government. Well, I'm in favor with a smaller federal government, but I feel like state governments should be big to an extent. I'm sure they're talking about federal government. Smaller government providing fewer services, a bigger government providing more services. I am in favor of communities creating their environment, so I'm gonna say a smaller government. Which of the following statements come closest to your view? America's openness to people from all over the world is essential to who we are as a nation. America's too open to people from all over. We risk losing our identity as a nation. Yeah, I don't believe this at all. I completely believe in this. What America is trying to do is becoming that melting pot that represents a certain level of connection towards people, towards four cultures. And I think that message is the strongest message in the entire world. So, yeah. In general, would you say experts who study a subject for many years are usually better at making good policy decisions about the subject than other people? Usually worse at making good policy decisions about the subject than other people? Neither better nor worse at making good policy decisions about the subject than other people. Would you say experts study a subject for many years? I mean, they're better. Does anybody think they're worse? They're for sure better in terms of better at making... Wait. Experts who study a subject about that subject. So just because someone knows a lot, so studying is more so. I'm okay. It's more of a knowledge thing for me, at the very least. Intelligence is cultivated based off increasing your knowledge and perspective, but in terms of the level of intelligence you truly have is usually individualized and determined based on how you comprehend and understand things, right? So just because someone studies a lot, that means they learn a lot. They gain a slew of knowledge. So just because they gain a slew of knowledge, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will create better policy decisions, because it can be skewed based off their values. So actually, I'm going neither better nor worse. What matters most is the values being implemented, but I do think it would be generally better, but it's hard to say with certainty because they would have a better understanding of how the policy will be enacted. But based off the values of the policy itself, it's hard to say whether it would be a good policy decision. They are more informed, they are more understanding of how the policy will work, but that policy itself could be a bad policy for the people itself. So in terms of like ideologically, or yeah, more so ideologically, maybe even morally. So I'm going to say neither better nor worse. Thinking about increased trades of goods and services between the U.S. and other nations in recent decades, would you say the U.S. has gained more than it has lost because increased trade has helped lower prices and increase the competitiveness of some U.S. businesses? Lost more than it has gained because increased trade has cost jobs in manufacturing and other industries and lowered wages for some U.S. workers? Well, I have to think of the perspective of 2021, just because this is when the quiz was made. Is lost because increased trade has helped lower prices, increase the competitiveness of some U.S. businesses. Foreign businesses. What do I think about foreign businesses? I do think it is not necessarily bad. You could argue that some foreign businesses bring jobs in for people too, and introduces a new type of job, and also allows a new type of market. But if these are the two questions, I'm going to say lost more than it has gained. Oh, yeah, for now. I don't think it's that simple, but for now. How much more, if anything, needs to be done to ensure equal rights for all Americans, regardless of their... How much more, regardless? I think equal rights. As of right now, I think... I mean, I always say... Okay, so there's difference between having equal rights versus eliminating prejudice. And eliminating prejudice is still going to take a long time, but I feel like we're pretty close to having like equal rights. I always say, what can a white person do that I can't do? I can't think of anything a white person can do. Of course, there are certain places I can't go that white people can go, but there are certain places white people can't go that black people can't go. So I wouldn't say it's 100% equal because there shouldn't be any institutions that discriminate based off race. It should be equal across the board in terms of the opportunity, but it's not. So I'm gonna say a little. Which of the following statements come closest to your view? Most make a fair and reasonable. Make too much profit. Yo, yeah, too much wealthy people. How much of it at all would it bother you to regularly hear people speak a language other than English in public? Not at all. I don't care if people speak their own language. On a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 means you feel as cold and negative as possible, 100 means you're as warm as possible, how do you feel? How do you feel towards Democrats? 50. How do you feel towards Republicans? 50. I'm 50-50. Which of these statements best describes your opinion about the United States? The U.S. stands above all the countries in the world. For sure. How much of a problem, if any, would you say each of the following are in the country today? People being too easily offended by things others say. On the grand scale, it's not a big deal, but it's still a minor problem. Like, people are just annoying. It's not a big deal in terms of policy. People saying things that are very offensive to others, minor problem. Which comes closer to your views of candidates for political office, even if neither is exactly right? There's at least one candidate shares most of none of the current represent my views well. How much do white people benefit from advantage in society that black people do not have? Benefit from advantage in society. I'll say not too much. I won't be absolutist. Do you think greater societal acceptance of people who are transgender is greater social acceptance for people? Social acceptance is, I don't know, man, because I would say somewhat good. I feel like you can live your life, and people are genuinely transgender because of like gender dysphoria, which is a mental illness, and those people deserve to live their life to the fullest. So I say somewhat good, but I do think we need boundaries for some things we talk about. Overall, would you say people who are convicted of crimes in this country serve some drug crimes too much? Yeah. Which of the following statements come closest to your views? Religion should be separate from government policies. Let me go back. Let me make sure. Should be kept Yep. In the future, do you think U.S. policies should try to keep it so America is the only military superpower? No. America should be number one. All right, let's see where I go. Your best fit is ambivalent right, stressed sidelander. So I'm right here. I'm ambivalent right. Funny. Considering my opinions about Trump, I probably would be considered outsider left right now. Oh, that's so funny. In just 3 years, man, I'll probably be considered outsider left. I consider myself right in the middle, but nobody appreciates the middle, man. Nobody appreciates it. Well, that's all I got for today. Let me know what you all think. Take the quiz yourself, of course. You have a good one. Take care and peace.